Right, welcome to another Warhammer Worlds Battlefield Terrain tutorial. So in this episode I'm going to show you how I've accomplished the setup that you can see here. Step by step I'll guide you through, and there's no reason why you can't copy this exactly and achieve the same results that you see here on this table. So as per usual, I'll leave as many links as I can in the video description below. So you're welcome to copy this entire setup, or you can take elements from it and then bring those over into your own tabletop setups. So first up is the foundation. That's the battle mat. So that'll give you your colour scheme to play on, a nice friendly gaming surface that's nice and quiet for rolling dice. It's figure friendly as well if models fall over. It just gives you sort of your colour scheme that you can use, and then you place your terrain on top. So this one's called Mayhem Square. It's from GameMat.eu. It's one of the first battle mats that they produced. It's available in 6x4, not the 60x44. So that's the size it's available, 6x4. So for our games, I've used chain link fence across here just to mark off the boundary here for this game. So it is 60 inches across for this battle. So I'll put a link for that in the video description below. For anything that's from GameMat.eu, for the mats and for the terrain, there is a discount code for you in the video description. I think it's for 11%, so you can get that off your order just to help bring the cost of that down. So as you can see with this battle mat, it's got some nice grey tones going on here. There's a little bit of blue, a little bit of green running through this as well. It's not just like a flat grey colour. So you've got the main sort of pavement area, some patterns. There's like a chaos symbol there in the middle, and some blood splatters, and then there's these cracked and open areas as well. Sort of flows quite nicely into these ruins. So the bulk of the terrain is the Fallout Zone pre-painted terrain set from GameMat.eu. It's two of those sets combined, and it seems to fill up the table really well. If you have a terrain already, then what you can do is use one set from GameMat.eu and then use your own terrain. It seems to fill out the table really well. If you're lacking in terrain, usually it's two sets will fill out a table really well. So as you can see, this board's nicely filled up with terrain. So the Fallout Zone set comes with this across here. This larger piece with this sort of chemical flow stuff coming down here. It's multi-layered. It's nice for putting models on top of as well. So it's a brilliant piece. And then you get some ruins. So you get a larger piece. You get a number of these medium-sized ones. And then you get sets of these here, these halves, which you can join together to create like one ruin, or you can split them up into halves and so on. So that's what you get in the Fallout Zone set. Now, I've colour adjusted these slightly. Didn't need to do too much to them. I enhanced the green across here and added some extra colours to it. I used a bit of Seraphim Sepia to create some rusty effects, and a bit of spray as well, just to blend it in with the Fallout Zone battle mat that's from GameMat.eu, so the two match up nicely. That's in the previous video, but I brought that terrain across. Even with that colour adjustment, it does seem to fit really nicely with the Mayhem Square battle mat, so it works out well, and it's handy that you can transfer terrain across from one battle mat setup to the next. So these larger pieces will give you the structure for your table. It will help create your corridors and your roads, your ruins, obscuring terrain, places to hide behind and so on, to fill out the table nicely. So try to go for a nice even spread of these clusters around the board. In the centre, I've tried to preserve the Mayhem Square that you can see in the middle. It's a nice focal point for games. So something going on in the middle. I don't want it completely open though, so I've used Battlefield accessories here. These pipes are from the industrial terrain set from GameMat.eu, so I brought those across. They're just general pipes, so you can use them across different terrain setups. So that's those. There's three of them stacked together. There's another one at the end. And then to join them, you can see this walkway that's set up across there. That's these walkways, which I've custom made. You can see them here. I'm a massive fan of these. They're good fun to build, a little bit tricky. So the material that's used there is called Plastruct. That's the sort of H-beams that you can see. They've been cut to shape and super glued into position. And the mesh that you can see there, massive fan of this stuff. It's aluminium car body repair kit mesh. You can get it off eBay in sheets. Just comes the aluminium colour. It's very workable. You can cut it up easily. Super glue it in. And then the whole thing has been sprayed, washes over the top, Agrax Surf Shade, the main colour, and then just a little bit of highlighting on there with some silver, and then that's the kind of effect that you can get. But these walkways, they can just span across all sorts of places. You can use them to join different areas of the board together. So they're a fantastic job. And this one fits just perfect across, so just joining the two buildings together. So now infantry can walk straight across as opposed to having to go down and across and back up again. So massive fan of the walkways, large one across there. I've double stacked two of them next to each other across here. Now using the actual tutorial for that, I'll link it in the video description below. Finally got around to making it, showing you how it's done. I actually create one of these. The chain link fence, again you see it using the H-beams, and again the mesh, and then the scale barbed wire that you can use as well. That creates these fences. Again, a brilliant job. You can see the same process being used. You can use it to create fences, you can use it to create these walkways, and I've also used it to create these posters as well, the propaganda posters that you see in our games. So just using again the H-beams, creating some feet so these can set up. The posters, if you type in on Google Warhammer 40,000 propaganda posters, then you'll see lots of fan art. There's some that have been released by Games Workshop as well. You just print them out on paper. I spray them with varnish just to seal in the ink, cut them out, stick them on, and you've got these brilliant billboards which I think just really add to the atmosphere of the table, and then just place them on there. There's another one across here, a tall one that can go across terrain. So they fit in really well. Gives you a nice 40k theme for your tables. Now I would say with the accessories is that they transfer nicely across from one terrain setup to the next, so you get a lot of value out of them. You can use them in multiple games, and they just give you a nice finishing touches. It just makes the table a bit different to what you expect, what average might be. For example, you buy the terrain, you got the mat, a little bit predictable, it fills the table out nicely, it's great, but if you can add in your own customized stuff, it really brings the table to life and personalizes your own tables. As well as that, you've got battlefield accessories, pipes here from Games Workshop. GameMat.eu do their own ones as well in some of the sets. The Chemzone set has an extensive setup for the pipes. What's good about the GameMat.eu terrain is they match up with the Games Workshop pipes. So that all fits in nicely. And this one here, you can see, fits into that one. So they have scaled it correctly, so the two terrain setups complement each other, which is useful enough. You can see it across here as well, just in there. So they'll connect up and fit in quite nicely. As well as that, I've got some boxes of barrels, 40k, just dot these around. Again, it just makes the table fit nicely with Warhammer 40,000. So we've got Munitorum armoured containers, there's a couple across there, there's an Ultramarines one, there's a Blood Angels one. There's a tutorial for that on the channel as well, how to paint those up. So you can check that out, and I'll link that in the video description as well. Then the finishing touch, the final touch, is the rocks that you can see here. So these are rocks that I've sprayed and added some washes to, just to give them like a grey finish, but also sort of some muddy, rusty kind of finish to them as well. You can perhaps see the colour scheme on here. So there is a grey finish going on, but also some like rusty colours coming through. And I use those just to blend the terrain into the boards. The whole thing blends in nicely. So you've got rocks and rubble going on here in the printed part, and then you see it physically here with these stones. And just use those just to blend the board in. And you can see it in here as well, stones being added just to create that realistic effect. And then I just tuck it in at the edges of terrain, again, just to blend it into the board to make it look like everything belongs on the table. So that's that setup, quite straightforward here. Very grim dark 40k feel to this one, some Imperial sector that's ripe and ready for some epic fight to take place. Setting this board up, ready for a game coming soon. Just looking forward to seeing what we have lined up actually as an Imperial army. They're going to be taking on one of the Xenos forces across this table equally. Chaos Space Marines look great on here, especially with the markings there in the centre of the battle mat. As per usual, we'll fade out here with some music. We'll pan around and show you the different aspects of this board. Do check out those links. Discount code for GameMat.eu as well. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time.